Hey everybody, I'm back today with a hybrid layout for the amazing Traci Reed. This goes along with a coordinating blog post, and I will link that up in the comments down below or in the description box. Today I'm working with the Ex Libris collection, Ex Libris Galaxis collection. It's like my favorite. I love this line. It is the first line I ever bought from Traci, and it's so good. I am going to be documenting today a photo and a story. So I have a good bit of journaling to include on this layout. I have a couple of the 12 by 12 papers, lots of embellishments, and then this particular collection also has a set of stamps from Catherine Pooler, which are so cute, and we are totally going to take advantage of those today. So I am going to cut down some of my 12 by 12 papers, and I love that gingham paper. There are so many papers in this collection that are not super themey and would be perfect for anything that you might want to document. One of them is that gingham paper, and then there's also this gorgeous like blue mint green, you can see it there, ledger paper that is perfect for backgrounds. So I'm going to keep this layout pretty simple, like the layout idea. I'm just going to, I trimmed down two of those book stacks, book lines from the pattern paper. I'm going to use the ruler that's on my mat, that's on my desk, to kind of get this gingham paper centered, and then I'm going to kind of finish them off with those two book strips. So here's my photo, and I'm going to pop it up using some foam tape. I am using my favorite foam tape from Spiegel Mom Scraps, and my Big Mama foam tape is almost gone. It is definitely time for me to refill on that. I'm actually out of almost all of my foam tape. We definitely need to put an order in. So I did my journaling on one of the 3x4 cards, and now I'm kind of deciding what embellishments I want to use. I know what I want my title to be. I know I want to incorporate the stamps. Other than that, I don't have a whole big idea of what I want to do with some of these little sticker die cut pieces. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of play around. I have some tags. I have lots of ephemera from this collection. I also have and pulled out some wood veneer from Color Cast Designs. I pulled it out because I always like to include something that's not paper on my layouts. I always say this, it really helps when you are creating a hybrid layout to include something that's not paper. So whether that be sequins, whether that's wood veneer, whether it's stamping, it doesn't matter necessarily what it is, just that there's something else to break it up. I always find that adding that little bit of extra texture can really kind of elevate a hybrid layout so it doesn't look completely flat. And what's really funny is I just went on and on about that wood veneer, and I didn't even put any of it on my layout. Anyway, I'm adding some hemp twine to this little tag because I know that this tag is going to be part of my title. So I'm going to use some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. I'm going to leave those long little strings. That's going to help with that texture and adding some dimension to my layout. And you'll be happy to know that I pulled out a set of thickers. Right, so I have been, I've been trying really, really hard to use up my thickers. I actually don't have too many left. Right now, I am down to pretty much my absolute favorites. And this is one of them. So these are from Chamel's Glitter Girl collection from years and years ago. And I think I have 4 or 5 sets of these stickers. They don't stick, I know they don't stick. I'm going to have to stick them all down with my new Deluxe adhesive, and that's okay. But they looked so nice. And again, they did add a bit of like glitter, a bit of dimension to this page. They were just so perfect. So my entire title is going to be Waiting Room Book Nerd. And I know a lot of people ask me quite often about the stories that go with my photos, and I often forget to tell you guys about that. So I'm going to try harder to be a little bit more chatty about my stories and about my photos. So while I stamp, I'm stamping using Juniper Mist ink from Catherine Poehler, and I'm just using those. I'm using all of like the little star clusters from the stamp set. So let's talk about the story. I always say this. I have a Goodreads. Okay, let me get my thoughts together. Let me just read you my journaling. How about that? You can always tell how my health is by how fast I'm finishing books on Goodreads. If I'm flying through books, it means I'm spending a lot of time in waiting rooms, doctor's offices, and bed. Reading is how I get through the tough days. So that's my journaling. That's what this is about. This is a photo of me with my book open, reading in a waiting room. I just kind of put the camera over my phone over my head and snapped a photo, because that is truly what I do when I'm having a rough time with my health and I can't, be as active as I want to be. I read. And I did a ton of stamping while I read you that. So I used kind of all of those beautiful kind of stars. And I also added the heart and the books and created a landing spot, a little bit of contrast, and a background for all of my other embellishments. Now I'm just going to go in and add the ephemera pieces. You can see where I kind of left open space to pop them in around my stamping, especially to the left. You can kind of see how there's that whole open space below that heart. So I know I'm going to fill that in with some of these die cuts. And I'm going to play with that little girl stacked up on the books. I love her, but I decide not to use her for this layout. I still have all those wood veneers though, so that's okay. I love color cast designs wood veneers. Now that I have all of the ephemera pieces down, I'm going to come in with just a little bit more stamping. I just felt like there were a couple areas that need filled in a little bit more, filled out a little bit more, so that my design is balanced and cohesive and there weren't any big gaping open spaces, as it were. Last but certainly not least, I'm going to grab my Glossy Accents and I'm going to fill out the screen on the e-reader and the little glasses that are on the other side. And then I'm going to pop just a couple little Glossy Accents, just little dots here and there throughout the layout. That is going to, again, just add a little something extra to this layout, and I think it turns out really, really good. And then this layout is all done. Thank you so much for joining me today. Below in the description box, you will find a link to Traci Reed's blog post featuring lots of this line projects, lots of projects from this line. That sounds better. And I hope you all have a fabulous Wednesday. Bye.